널 기다렸어.
Drops that are coming in, usually Liberators and then drops, but none of the sort there from Hurricane. Tried to go for that nice switcheroo where the Reaper came in for the Scout and then he canceled the Stargate win for the Twilight Robo and tried to do some damage there, but it all failed, and from there he just got too far behind. So the woes of Hurricane continue, sitting at 1-4.
Yeah, it's not a good night for him. And you know who else it's not been a good night for is SOS. A loss here would put him on the same score, and he's up against Trust, undefeated, 4-0. And this will be Trust's biggest challenge yet, I'd say, but still, I actually favor him going into this PvP.
Yeah. I just looking at the way these two players are playing tonight, I definitely do favor Trust. That would be so weird to say if we're in Pro League, we're playing a best of one, and it's Trust versus SOS. I would never vote harder for SOS ever in my life had I not seen these games. Now it's like, I don't really know. Trust looks like the favorite.
Yeah. I would have voted for you before I voted for Trust if it was SOS versus that in a best of one. But in this case, man, I got to give him my thumbs up. I got to give him 2 thumbs up, and I got to stick my big toes up under the desk up for him. I'm going to give him 4 thumbs up.
Don't shiny one of your socks.
No one can see those. But let's see if SOS can break the streak, because nobody expected Trust to go 4-0, and he might, on Dust Towers on his away map, go 5-0.
It's looking good, so let's jump into SOS versus Trust right now. Here we are on everybody's favorite map, Dust Towers. Down in the bottom left, in the red, the Protoss player, he is SOS.
And up to the top right, in blue, his opponent, 4-0 in the group. It is Trust, looking for his 5th win.
What I said when I saw Trust's first 2 games was that he came in very prepared, and I'd say the same thing too, but he's also just playing very solidly. After seeing games number 3 and 4,
yeah,
he had some great ideas, good builds prepared for games 1 and 2, and he did for 3 and 4 as well. But now it's just looking like he's just a really solid player.
He gets blocked again, and what happened last time when he did this versus Hurricane was Hurricane tried to proxy him. I don't think SOS will make the same mistake.
No,
he's just going to go over there, see that it's also blocked, and we're just going to have these, phase disruptors shooting at each other, tapping at each other. Or no, particle disruptor, that's what it's called for the probe. I'm trying to remember these attack names. It's disrupting the particles.
Particle
of that
beam.
Oh, particle beam. Particle disruptor must be the stalker. Phase disruptor is the immortal. And that's as far as it goes.
I just like to say attack. The stalkers attacked it.
The probe is attacking it.
Yeah. He's going to make a Zealot here to save his pylon. See if he commits to it. Neither player makes a second gate, as they have walled off. Don't quite have the minerals to go for that exact build. This
map, like Orbital Shipyard, you just don't need a second one because you have the tight wall, you have the next to the back. Going to be a canceled Zealot.
And a fast Twilight here from Trust.
I think we're going to see him go DTs. I think he's going to change it up. He's going to keep it,
keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh, because he's already shown us a few different types of builds, and this has to be the 5th in a row where it's totally different. I'm going to carry on. I want to look at some stat. I want to look up a stat really quick.
So Stargate here for SOS, but this is coming out really fast, this Twilight. It was rushed out as soon as possible. Very early gas, and there's the Dark Shrine, no surprise. Puts it back there in the way back area of his base, so going to be very hard to scout, even if the Adept could get in, which it can't because the wall is blocked off. It would be hard to scout here.
Oh,
he's going to commit to this.
This is really cool. This is all right, I don't care what you're doing, but I'm going to find out kind of build. And he has to kill the Adept to stop this, and I just don't think he can. When the overcharge comes up, that pylon will die. Look at it. He's even tanking the Stalker shots just to make sure that it dies. He has to replace this pylon if he doesn't want it to be scouted.
Yeah.
And look at this. Another probe's coming down. He has to replace this. It's not going to happen. Oh, or is it? But this isn't over yet. The overcharge goes down.
Oh, there it is.
And actually, he will hold this. He will hold this.
Tanking it with his mothership core. He's trying to get that pylon, and down it goes. And he immediately makes another one. And this is going to be hidden.
And right now, SOS has got the
obliterated.
panic. He's got the panic button going because he thinks it's actually perhaps a gateway all in, but it is absolutely not.
And he just saw one. Trust just did it to Classic, too. The gateway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he followed it up with the Stargate, but it was something similar, you know? And he's got no detection. He's making the robotics now.
He also knows there's a probe potentially out there, but he doesn't know what it's made. It is a gateway only. Okay, the Dark Shrine is done. Warp Gate research is done. Now, the only line of defense that SOS has is the tight wall. And if he can react very quickly, he's got a sentry on the way. Sentry just warped in.
Wow,
if he reacts quickly, he knows. Hey, if he reacts quickly, he should be able to hold this. Just force field them out.
Yeah.
Get the observer out.
Looks like he has got this as long as he doesn't mess up any of his micro.
It's a very low pylon. There's the force field at the last second. Instantly targets the gateway. Doesn't have a second one, though. He's going to have to instantly remake a pylon, or that wall will be breached. Okay, gets another sentry just in time. Going to go for the gateway. Actually, a really smart choice, because that's not going to be as easy to remake.
Oh, the force field right at the end.
The observer will pop out.
Should still be able to get that gateway. Oh, he's going to go for the pylon.
Goes for the pylon. Now he can split his DTs into two directions.
He can still get the gateway, too. It looks like he's going to do that with one of the DTs. The other one is going to go down, and he's going to escape with the second one. So it doesn't overcommit, and, I mean, it's held off. SOS loses a pylon and a gateway, but this gateway is scouted out, and this DT tech is not going to be all too useful. And SOS back at home, he's got Stargate and robotics tech.
Trust has to double expand, and if Trust had a Warp Prism, I'd feel a lot better about his position because he could threaten more with these DTs, but as it is, he's going to lose the second one. Nice force field to guarantee that.
Oh.
Or am I wrong? Yeah, he gets away. But if he had a Warp Prism, this third Nexus would be like just totally safe because he could warp in DTs and harass with that. There's no way that SOS could attack. Even still, SOS predicts this move, just like he predicted the DTs and everything else. He predicts this move and adds his own third Nexus. He also knows that there's not much of a way for Trust to attack. Yeah, he could have like massed a bunch of Stalkers and Gateways at home and is ready for like a crazy all-in. But that's very unlikely. It's more likely that Trust is going to double expand like this and have very few units because he spent so much money on those DTs. So even though Trust basically double expanded, SOS has his own third base up already, and he's up, 14 supply here.
Yeah, I actually like that Trust doesn't go for the all-in move. I like that he plays it very passively. It's a very big map. It's PvP. You can just wait it out. You are going to be in a disadvantage, but I feel like your chances of winning by trying to grind it out and allowing more time for your opponent to make mistakes will give him a better chance, a better shot in this game, rather than him just going for some weird all-in that SOS could definitely easily scout out with his observer that he's got on the map. And, just hold it off. He's also got 3 sentries, so he could even just force field for a bit, save some time. Either way, we are going to go into a bit of a later game here.
Yep, that Oracle going to come in here. There are Stalkers at the ready, and they do have
With Blink, yeah.
So he could bait it. Does not, actually. The Oracle will get away easily.
Just one kill, it looks like.
Yeah. +1 on the way for both players. Trust getting the faster charge, and it's going to be Charge Archon versus Disruptor Tech again. Unless SOS goes for that Colossus timing, which he showed us in Pro League, actually, in the round 2 finals. Did not end up working. That's kind of his signature thing to do, is do weird things like that. We haven't really seen that build since that I can remember. I think this is just going to be Disruptor Tech. And I wonder how effective this is going to be. Oh, God.
Poor Immortal, man.
If that Disruptor gets caught in there, too, it's going to be even worse. Okay, it's actually not a Disruptor yet.
Yeah. Is going to save that. Save the life of the Immortal, which sounds weird to say, but will allow it to fight on.
Oh, that's an interesting place for his tech. It's all scouted. Okay, we'll save that Immortal right away.
And it is going to be Colossi.
Well, wow.
2 Colossi at a time coming out here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Trust makes 7 gateways and is just going full Chargelet Archon.
One of the problems with Colossus tech is it has a direct counter in Tempests, and it's almost impossible to deny scouting in this matchup. Trust has been consistently sending Phoenix Scouts over and over again. In fact, I think there's one at the 4th base right now, the would-be 4th base. Yep, just got cleared away. And if he sees this, he has plenty of time to respond. If it gets out of control and he gets 4 Colossi with range, then suddenly it becomes a really scary situation for Trust because he doesn't have the, he just has pure Gateway Army units to deal with this then.
And no range so far. He's made 2 Colossi, but no range. Has he forgotten it? I mean,
I think that's what is going on.
He needs to have it, right? You need to have it when you're facing Chargelet Archon.
I think he has forgotten it. If you're going to commit to this many Colossi, you have to make them like 3 times as good. Like that's how much, like range for Colossi Thermal Lance, extended Thermal Lance is like makes your Colossi 3 times as good, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
I mean, they're just damage dealers before that, but after that they're siege damage dealers.
There's no reason not to get it here, and it's definitely been forgotten. And I mean, SOS doesn't make Colossi very often, right?
Nobody does, right?
Back in the day, you would see it forgotten very, very rarely. Like once out of every 100, 150 Protoss games. Now it's like, well, you don't see Protoss, or rather Colossi all that often, so
yeah,
you know. In the meantime, he is making a bunch of Archons, so maybe he's made a decision and not a mistake to say, I need this gas, I need this 200 gas for something else. But I don't know, it's questionable.
I wonder what Trust is going to do, because he actually has a 4th base up. He's had it for longer. He doesn't have his gases there yet. It looks like he just wants to dump all his gas into Archons and attack rather than try to go for a Tempest tech, which is really interesting considering how many Colossi SOS is committing to. Without the range, it's not as scary of an army, but it's still, I mean, that's a lot of AoE versus all these Zealots. Okay, we're going to see that whole position micro going on here. He doesn't have a lot of poke,
There's
though.
the Lance. Okay. So now that it's coming out now, this looks definitely forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's like, oh crap, hopefully I can delay it. But it's right there at the wall, and here we go. The fight's going to go down, and a really nice position, in fact, for SOS. He just got his entire army time warped, but at the same time, the Chargelet Archon can't really fight into that kind of ball.
If you actually put a gun to my head and I was strapped to a bed and you said, tell me why Trust attacked into that, I wouldn't be able to give you an answer. He's actually playing so greedy and risky. It looks like he wants to go for a snipe and a recall.
Looks like it. There's the snipe and there's the recall, and he does get out.
Yeah,
but immediately, I mean, SOS is like, okay, I'm moving across the map. I need to kill you right now.
This was absolutely not worth it, I don't think. He just warped in, what, a bunch of Zealots? And he has 2 Stargates on the way trying to switch into Tempest. These Colossi are about to have range. You saw how difficult they were to deal with without it. We're about to see the power of Thermal Lance here.
Yeah, he's going to try to get the massive surround. I think he even loaded up some Zealots into a Warp Prism, perhaps to try to go behind. But
yeah, and he's even trying to like just delay this in any way possible. Needs that Fleet Beacon like yesterday.
I think he needs to recall again.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, just barely enough energy, by the way. And, oh no, actually, yeah, plenty. I must have misread that. But 7 seconds left on Thermal Lance. Fleet Beacon not even started. Okay, if he kills that Warp Prism, it slows down reinforcements. Fleet Beacon is started, but this is almost pure Zealot with all these Archons to tank. Force Fields as well, you could drop down. This is going to be so hard for Trust to fight without that Tempest tech.
It's 5 Colossi in this. And he's grouped up into a ball, and Trust wants to get the massive surround. Here we go.
He's going to go for it, but look at all these Zealots.
Angles.
Yeah, there's actually maybe too many.
Still, the Colossi in the back are very well protected, but that angle from Trust is huge.
Yeah, and he gets a huge warp in as well, and he's overwhelming these Colossi. Not get their full shots, but look, too much AoE damage.
Just way too many Colossi in the back that were protected for too long.
Okay, look, he's trying to get Void Rays out. He might actually be able to live here.
There's not much to support the Colossi now.
Yeah.
He's got like a couple of Archons in there, maybe a couple of Immortals.
He's so confident he canceled the Void Rays, and he's going into those Tempests. SOS needs to get value with these Colossi right now. He needs to siege up this army. He needs to be killing Archons and Stalkers, I think.
You're right. He's not getting enough value. He needs to get something while he has the advantage. Maybe go for the Nexus here.
Okay, here comes Zealots on the other side.
He's dropping it in with the Warp Prism, and now he's trying to come in from behind with the Warp in.
Okay, Colossi still not getting huge value here on the AoE. Actually, look at all this. Most of the army from Trust on the right side. He's coming through.
He's going to get those Colossi.
Okay, forcing the recall. Kills another one there, and Tempests are out. Now, look at the
Who
upgrades.
is this guy?
Trust is 2-2 versus just +2 attack. SOS is going to have the +3 attack first. But, like...
Now that he's held it and he's killed, you know, even just one Colossus, he's just stopped the attack, and now that he has Tempest out, it's going to be really hard for SOS to ever engage this army.
And, you know, like, keep in mind that the only reason why this worked was because Trust had the perfect surrounds. The Zealot drops. The Colossi were shooting on the left side, or basically shooting on top of themselves because the Zealots were on top of them, which meant the bulk of Trust's army, which is clumped up on the right side,
oh, this is cute.
was not, you know, taking AoE damage. It was only the left side, which was like just a few Zealots. It was so minimalized.
It's very true. I mean, SOS kind of put him in that position, himself in that position too. He walked right into the middle, and he saw the units go up the ramp too. I think he should have just sieged a bit at the 4th base. Maybe he was just a little bit flustered. He wanted to get the attack done as soon as possible, and he didn't want to wait any longer.
Don't forget the Zealots have some base armor, and they were at +2 armor, so they tanked even further some of that damage from those Colossi. And SOS attacked before +3 was done. And now he's going +3/3 armor on those Zealots. And obviously the Tempests are going to... I was going to say they're going to counter the Colossi, but that's like long gone the issue now. And this is going to be the point where, yeah, he still has 2 Colossi, but they're just so irrelevant. Or even 3, actually. I swear I can count. One was like covered by the overlay, but Mothership coming out.
I think this attack from Trust is just going to end the game. Looking
It
at
should.
SOS's army compared to this is not much. It's going to have that Mothership.
Do you remember Deer versus Hero, Samsung versus CJ, where like basically Deer had the same kind of army that Trust had, but he made a few mistakes with his micro and Hero ended up winning that? That's like the only way that this game doesn't go Trust's way. He's getting rid of Stalkers now because he knows they're basically irrelevant in this army. Just going to poke with them, try to trade some minerals here, but look, he wants just more space for Zealot Harass.
Yeah, and he's going to get some damage done here, but he's also throwing away some Zealots too to get some more Tempests and some other units, some more Archons. You can see he's warping in High Templar, and he's not stopping with the Harass. This is annoying for sure. It allows Trust to get a better bank.
SOS knows this is a very, very long game that's about to occur. He's even starting to go into the shields now. But the upgrades are just way better for Trust already. The Mothership just at home. Not even going to be riskily with this army until it's absolutely necessary for the fight. He does see the army moving over. Let's see how he responds. He may just let this base go and then try to trap and kill SOS's army. He's going to need to kill the Mothership Core for that to be possible. Otherwise, we're just going to see a recall here. He needs to kill that Mothership Core. Targets it, and boom, down it goes.
There it goes, and even a Time Warp here.
Oh, my God.
And SOS is just going in. He says, I have to fight this fight, but I don't think he can. All the Tempests are totally protected in the back. He focuses down the Warp Prism, too. Now he's one-shotting Colossi.
Yeah, there's just not enough anti-air here. Trust has way too many Archons. And, you know, looks like he's trying to win this fight with those, with the Stalkers at the back. Does he have enough? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Now a huge Warpin's going to come in here, and this is going to wipe out the rest of SOS's army. And Trust is looking to get a 5-0 in the group from here, defeating both Classic SOS and everyone else in the group.
3-3 Zealots destroying these Stalkers. He's about to have +1 for his Tempest. Surprising he didn't get it earlier. The Nexus lives. He has a backup one just in case. And this should spell the end of the game, as he will move across now. Probably hit the satellite base first just to be safe and start, you know, slowly sieging his way towards the edge.
6 Tempests remain. There is 1 Void Ray here for SOS, 3 Archons. And just a really nice game played here by Trust. Some mistakes made by SOS, but this is what I was talking about. Play for the later game. Allow SOS to make those mistakes. You're going to be behind, but if he makes a couple of mistakes, gets out of position, you can win the game, even with that kind of composition.
Nexus goes down. These Zealots just going to reposition, shield up a little bit as more get warped in. Archon's the primary target of the Tempest, obviously. If he can, you know, just pick those off from afar, makes the army much weaker. And maybe even shoot this Void Ray. Down it goes. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the last fight of the game. Doubling the supply is Trust. Targeting the Archons as mentioned. and it should be able to overwhelm this easily. GG. Trust 5-0.
5-0. What a badass. He is doing so well today. You could see him actually relishing in the glory. Just a bit of relief there from defeating SOS. He was on some pretty hard times in that game.
That was
it looks
also,
like he could have lost it at a lot of times there.
That was an away win. That makes his third away win. I think it's, if he wins one more game, he's solidified his position getting out of the group, if I'm not mistaken, because otherwise it would have to be a tie in order for him to not get out. And with 3 away wins, it's like a pretty unlikely